Now, George is outside chasing squirrels, so if you hear barking in the background, that's what's going like that. That's what's going on. That said, we're on a really good roll. I have no earthly idea why. I'd love to say it's all down to my unique talent, but the fact of the matter is, the glasses just make me look smart. I really have no clue what I'm doing. We'll be generous, call it 6 times out of 10, 3 times out of 5. You know, every once in a while, I'll manage to do something and be like, holy cow, it worked. It's kind of like, accidentally discovering penicillin. That's me in Football Manager. We're doing really well in our Champions League group. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. My name's FM20. It's time to get Réal. So I don't know about everyone else, but with everything going on right now, my schedule is a little bit off. I'm working from home, probably like most everybody else. And I have a really nice schedule, and I also have not a lot of work going on right now. But I don't play during the day. But what happens is I'm up later at night, and I'll get to the point where I want to record, but I can't because it's so early in the morning, and I know if I do record, when I get done recording, I'm going to want to keep playing. And the next thing you know, it's time for me to wake up and go to work. I'm not saying that happened. That happened once, just the one time. But it was a Friday, so, it's all good. It's all good. As you can see, we are doing really, really well. Until recently, when we lost back-to-back games in La Liga, but they were against 2 quality teams. So when we last played, it was Marseille and Zaragoza? Or was it Almeria and Marseille? I know Marseille was in there somewhere. I haven't gone back and watched the previous video yet. So let's just assume, and we all know what happens when you assume, it was Almeria and Marseille. So we played Zaragoza next. We won 2-0 thanks to a Frank Campos penalty kick and a Helio goal in the 90th minute. This was the game we watched. I remember the Helio goal. We were then home against Levante. We beat them 2-1 thanks to a goal by Smilkovic and a goal by Majicek. Against Villarreal, we beat them 2-1 thanks to a goal by Charles Lee Mathis in the first minute, Elliot Fontaine in the 87th minute. This was an interesting game. They had a player sent off. They had a ton of yellow cards. They got the goal back in the 5th minute. I really thought this was going to be a banger of a game. And then literally, there were no other highlights in the match until a Fontaine goal in the 87th minute. It was kind of a bummer. This game was a complete surprise. We beat Man City in Man City 4-2. Dybala got things off with a 19th minute penalty kick that frankly was well deserved. He was fouled. Sterling put them 2-0 ahead. Helio got one back in the 29th minute. Lemaitre scored in the 41st minute. And then after the half started, Smilkovic put us ahead in the 54th minute. Helio got a second goal in the 77th minute. We were absolutely, technically, really, really good in front of the goal. We had 14 shots, 12 on target, only a 43% possession advantage, but when we had the ball, we made the most of it. De La Beauvoir had a really solid game. Mahmoud had a really solid game. Helio was absolutely fabulous in front of the goal. I don't know if I'm just going to be able to keep him beyond January as much as I would like to. He's not interested in signing a contract, but I think, knock on wood, I've agreed not to sell him unless his release clause is met. And he's agreed not to pitch a fit if a team comes in and doesn't reach his release clause. It happened in the summer transfer window. A couple of teams came in, made an offer for him for like 40 million euros. I was like, no, his release clause or nothing else. I mean, literally, one team came in, offered me 40 million euros. I said, hey, how about 88? They came back with 36. So, it is what it is. It is what it is there. I have no idea what's going on with Football Manager in that regard. So I know if I tried negotiating that in real life, I get laughed out the door. And that's what I did. The team that was trying to buy Helio was, who was it? It was Atalanta? One of the Italian teams. But yeah, once we got the lead on Man City, they really didn't know what to do, really. I mean, we played our basic 4-2-4. The only thing I did differently this time was I dropped back our defensive line a little bit because I didn't want to be pressing so high up the field that we got caught out by all of their really fast players. And as it turns out, that was the right thing to do. I clicked the wrong freaking button. As you see, my defense had a really solid game. Mathis had a 6-8. He had a really poor game. He was just absolutely abused by, who is he? He's on the left, so it would have been Stones. Stones or Dest just absolutely abused Mathis. It doesn't look like it from their rating, but most of those ratings are the product of what happened in the second half. To the point where my manager was like, he's made a lot of mistakes. You really ought to get him off the field. And I looked over and he had like 7 mistakes. And despite that, he was still on a 6-6. So we pulled him off. I don't want to say that's what convinced the team to turn on the second half. You know, what's the phrase? Correlation, causation, something or other. But yeah, I don't believe taking him off caused us to win by any stretch of the imagination. I think we just clamped it down the second half and just performed better than them. I didn't yell or scream at the guys or anything like that. They just tightened up and they outplayed Man City. So, and then we got back to La Liga football against Real Madrid. We had our chances here. Pogba missed a penalty kick in the 40th minute. That's after Martinez put them on the board in the 29th minute. We had 19 shots, 10 on target, only a 38% possession advantage. They played this game of keep away. They dwelled on the ball a lot, and they're athletically better than us. So when we came up to challenge them, they'd beat our challenge and then push the ball up the field to another player who would then hold the ball for 20 seconds. So the penalty kick was very nice. Van Broekel made an absolutely brilliant save on that. Martinez, on the other hand, stepped up, had a player of the match performance with his 2 goals. Campos got a goal in extra time. Frankly, I wasn't expecting to win this game, especially after the high we had coming off the Man City win. But at the same time, I didn't want to get blown out. This exactly wasn't a blowout loss, but at the same time, it's still a loss. It's a loss to Real Madrid. There's nothing to be really ashamed of in that. I mean, they're freaking near the top of the league. Against Valencia, who are a bottom mid-table team, I want to say they're 14th or 15th. I think the effect of Man City and Real Madrid just caught up to the guys. And that's, despite the fact we had a 13-day break between the 2 games, that Gonzalo Guedes just absolutely bossed us all over the field. He just couldn't be stopped. St. Jar had a very nice goal in the 22nd minute, and that was really it. Despite the fact we had 15 shots, 8 on target, they had 14 and 4. We had a flank advantage, but it really didn't help us out. They played this 4-4-2 formation that was more like honestly, it was more like a 4-4-1-1 where the advanced midfielder was really far left. They had this guy in a false 9 and then had him playing even further back. And they were better than us this day. It was kind of a letdown, to be honest with you. We were a better team than Valencia. We should have won. But no. So, of course, it's 3 days later, and we're off at Inter to play them in the group stage. For the moment, we are currently on top with 6 points. Man City has lost both of their games to Inter and us. Marseille lost to us. Inter has drawn against Marseille and beaten Man City, and we've won both of our games. So I want to get our expectations up, but for the moment, we're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. There's 11 games between Inter and Man. You know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Today, it's Inter, and then we're going to play Getafe in La Liga. They're a pretty solid squad. They are currently in 7th place. In our 9 matches played so far, our 14 goals scored are 6th highest. Our 9 goals allowed are 6th best. We're first in yellow cards. Go us. Helio Elisa with 6 goals and a 7.37 rating. Della Vabora, 4 assists. Charles Ely Mathis, Helio, and Elliot Fontaine, each with 2 players in the match awards. Elliot, 5 yellow cards. I don't know what it is. Players come to my team and they get yellow cards galore, and then they leave and they're absolutely fine. It's not, I'm not playing anything complicated strategy-wise. I mean, this is the strategy. It's the 4-2-4. I have no PIs on any of these players other than what their positional PIs already are. More direct passing to space, play out of defense, floated crosses. I need to change that back to whipped. Possession-wise, we're defending narrow, we're defending higher, we're more urgent, we prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, and we use the offside trap. And we counter and counter press, but we don't mark tightly. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Part of me is just giving up trying to figure it out. Who wants De La Vabora? Valencia wants Dale Vobora. Well, you can leave if I get a ton of money for you, but you're not going to Valencia. So I'm going to double check this 11, set the reserves. I'm going to come back for a match against Inter at the San Siro in just a bit. Oh, Chiesa, Christensen, Kovacic, Barea, Ake, Wilker Farinez in goal. Holy cow, I am up a creek. Panza is a regen, 6 goals and 10. Formia is a regen, 6 goals and 10. When did they get Farinez? If you want to see how good Wilker Farinez is, go watch Zealand's Twitch save. Especially when he was at BVB. This guy made just absolutely tons and tons of saves. There's highlight clips out there. They're absolutely amazing. Celtic got him for 3.2 million, turned around and sold him to Inter for 23. Wow, and that's after Millonarios got him for 800,000 K. So if you're starting a game early enough, you can get him for cheap. And he is definitely one of your. He's either a bottom tier 1 keeper or a high tier 2 keeper, depending on how you look at it. Van Berkel, he's a solid tier 2 keeper in my opinion. So we, of course, are playing our 4-2-4. Van Berkel, Mahmoud, Sirac, Joubert, and Dale Vobora is the defensive back four. St. John and Matashak is the midfielders. Mathis and Lamatre is the attacking midfielders. Helio and Smilkovic up top as the strikers. Andrich, for whatever reason, has lost a half a star. I don't know if it's because he's getting older or because I have better scouts and coaches in this year. I'm not quite sure what exactly. I just know the last few times I've played him, he's not the same player he was this time last year when he was seemingly scoring at will. And he had like 8 goals in 2 games. And Barea absolutely bangs that over the crossbar. Dodged a bullet there. Dale Vobora to Sinkshire, but Barella steps up and steals it. And he blows by the defender. 1-on-1 on Van Berkel. And Van Berkel does the right thing in blocking it, but it goes right to Formia, who puts it in the net. Armando. 7th goal of the season. Oh, yeah. These glasses are almost brand new. Why can I not read that? 7th goal of the season. Okay, to be fair, Van Berkel didn't block that so much as he put his hands up to protect his face. Sinkshire sends it in the box. Off the crossbar. And Farinez picks it up. Dale Vobora. Majashak on the throw-in. Holds it up. Back to Joubert. He drives forward. Sinkshire. Out to Dale Vobora. Taps it back to Lamatre. Centers it to Majashak. He takes it. Wow. Holy cow. That is my captain. What a banger of a shot. That it's at least 28 yards. Will they say on the commentary beneath? Yeah, Farinez wasn't stopping that one. What a strike. Joubert up to Smilkovic, heads it over to Sinkshire. Centers it to Majashak. He drives forward. Out to Dale Vobora. Yeah, he's dispossessed by Rodriguez. Back to Ake. Out to Barella. Nice first touch. Panza. Over to Formia. Nice passing by Inter. Rodriguez. And right at Van Berkel. It is the 7 o'clock coffee clutch for the dogs in the neighborhood. It's interesting with everything going on. There's more people out and about walking their dogs. I mean, they're being conscientious. They're not walking with each other. They're staying far apart. And frankly, a lot of these dogs probably haven't been walked all that much before, so they go nuts anytime they see each other. George will be upstairs sitting on the ottoman looking out the window and see a dog and want to come downstairs. Oh, Farina's with a nice stop. And then come running downstairs, sounding like a herd of elephants the entire time. Panza driving forward, pushes it wide left. And then sits and whines at me because I'm not letting him out the back door. Halftime. 4 shots, 4 on target for us, 13 and 7 for Inter. They have a decent possession advantage. We've had the 1 woodwork hit, too. 1 clear-cut chance to their 4. 1 long shot, which was the Majashak goal. Rodriguez on the corner kick. Panza absolutely blasts it past Van Berkel for the goal. I blinked, and 1 minute the ball was at Panza's feet, and the next minute it was in the back of the neck. Boy, he just kind of stuck his foot up there as a reaction, and it went in. Sirac, kickoff highlight. Out to Mathis. Cuts inside. Dispossessed by Bodgers. We'll call him Bodgers. He drives forward. Holds it up. Crosses it in. De La Vabor is there. Goes through, though. Joubert dispossesses Robert. Formia off Van Berkel. Panza gets it back. Puts it in the goal. Why can't my forwards play like that in front of the goal? They're always kicking it right at the keeper. Joubert had a nice tackle, but he couldn't recover. Formia just waiting right there. We were tied at the half. Panzo, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Mathis, knocked away. Panza, I've been saying his name wrong. Maybe that's why he scored 2 goals so quick. He's mad at me. Am I mispronouncing his name? Are you kidding me? De La Vabor gets sent off. And I was just thinking to myself, we need to take him off here in a couple minutes before he gets a second yellow card. We're going to bring on Aguirre for Mahmoud. We're going to get Joubert off and bring on Diagne. We're going to get Hoffman on and play him at fullback on the right. Van Berkel and I stop. What the hell was that, Diagne? Rodriguez, corner of the box. If they score off this... Holy cow. I need to move Helio over to the center. From the change. Panzo back, and Aguirre knocks that out of bounds. Van Berkel, up to Diagne. St. Jair, over to Sirac, up to Aguirre. Centers it back to St. Jair, who's driving forward. To Mathis, who loses it. Barella, back to Christensen. Up to Chiesa, back to Barella. Long pass to Bodgers. Got behind the defenders. One-on-one with Van Berkel, and a nice save by the keeper. And another nice save by Van Berkel off the corner kick. 21 shots, 14 on target, and 5 and 4 for us. We got George banging on the door to be let inside, but he can wait. The game is not over yet. Don't give up a 4th one, guys. That's all I ask. Bodgers, top of the box, gets by the one defender, takes the shot right at Van Berkel. Inter is totally playing on our half. And Panza scores again. Son of a gun. That's a hat trick for him, isn't it? I don't want to see this again. The game's almost over. Yep, a hat trick. A second half hat trick. Well, Inter did to us what I thought Man City was going to do to us. Aggressive. I'm totally not happy with that result. De La Vabor is going to get fined. And now we got Getafe coming up in 3 days. So, I'm going to go yell at the boys some more. I'll be back with the Getafe game in just a bit. Well, nothing of note happening in the 3-day break we have between games. A couple of players aren't exactly match fit, which is why they are on the bench and not starting. Plus, this is a good opportunity for a couple of players to get a start as well. We got Van Berkel in the goal, Mahmoud, Lukeba, Joubert, and Aguirre as the defensive back four. Majashak and Alonso as the midfielders. Harold and Lamatre as the attacking midfielders. Helio and Smilkovic up top as the strikers. And I've got these two guys reversed, and I need to switch them. And in the process of fixing them, I skipped the pep talk. Way to go, Jellicoe. Helio on the throw-in. He's got some help. Instead, he uses him to screen him. Takes the shot off the post. Smilkovic in front of the box, and Lucero picks it up. Mahmoud's already got a yellow card. Good grief. Off the post for them. Jimenez is going to run that down. Rounds the corner, top of the box, out into space. Bruchaga's going to get that. Holds it up, and somebody was offsides. Bruchaga was. Interesting. They're playing a 4-3-3 with a deep line playmaker. That's interesting. Alonso sends it into the crowd. Knocked away, but Harold runs it down. Out to Lukeba. He takes a shot, but right at Lucero. Martin with the ball. Back to Lucas. To Marcelin. Out into space for Jonathan. Lamatre challenges him. Jonathan sends it back to Martin. To Lucas. Back to Martin. Up to Jimenez. Jonathan on the left side of the box. Charging in. Why can't my strikers do that? My strikers kick it right at the keeper. Or the defender. No, let's not pass to the guy charging in on the opposite corner. Well done, Getafe. Well, it is halftime. Getafe has a 1-0 lead thanks to a goal by Jimenez in the 18th minute. They really haven't been playing better than us, but at the same time, we're not taking advantage of our advantages. Is the 4-3-3 that's screwing us up here? Martin sends it in. What the actual? What the hell was that? Oh, wow, they pushed it wide. Van Berkel, out to Aguirre, up to Lamatre. Drives forward, dispossessed, but Aguirre gets the ball back. He sends it to Majashak. Out to Aguirre. Cuts by the defender. Centers it to Lamatre. Majashak. Alonso. Back to Majashak. Back to Alonso. Smokovic. Helio. They're playing around at the top of the box. Harold takes a shot and he scores. Well done, Ronnie. Oh, if I did not have Charles Ely Mathis, Ronnie Harold would probably be my full-time starter. The kid has potential galore. The problem is right now, Charles Ely Mathis has all the ability. Another year, but this is one thing I was going to talk about before the game suddenly went sideways. One of the things I'm happy with, and after this we're going to make a couple substitutions, is I finally got a second team roster that I'm fairly comfortable with, in that when we're playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, Majashak steals the ball. Back to Aguirre. Who's dispossessed by Gell. Up to Bruchaga. Out to Jimenez. Driving right, and he pushes it wide left. Okay, we're going to make a couple changes here, then I'll get back to my point as soon as I can remember it. Majashak's going to come off. Fontaine's going to come on. Mahmoud's going to come off. Sirac is going to come on. Lukeba is going to come off. And Diagne is going to come on. I'm going to get all the yellow cards off. Anyhow, as I was saying, one of the things I'm really kind of happy with... Oh, Fontaine, what the hell? Is that, for the most part, my Jimenez, and he pushes it wide left. Thank you. Is that, for the most part, I've got a decent first 11. I've got a decent second 11 as well. So when we're playing games that are really close to each other, I'm not really grinding my teeth over the fact Ely Mathis has to sit and Ronnie Harold has to come in. Oh, dude, come on. Push forward. Joubert, out to Aguirre. He's got help. Instead, he's going to center it and give it away. Lucas, up to Jimenez, who got between the defenders. Running forward, and right at Van Berkel. Aguirre driving forward. Dispossessed by Nelson. Bruchaga has it. Holds it up, centers it to Nelson. Back to Jean Lucas, back to Nelson. Bruchaga loses it. Alonso up into space for Helio. Got by his defender. And he is dispossessed, but he's going to run the ball down. Back to Sirac. It was an interesting move by Sirac. He was falling backwards as the ball was coming towards him. Sirac in the box, dispossessed. Harold runs it down. Fontaine, Helio, Smilkovic. Back to Helio, lost in the crowd. Joubert runs up, and the highlight ends. Guys, are you freaking kidding me? And I can't shout because I just shouted. I told them to show some passion, and now they're all anxious. What the hell? Push forward. Very attacking. Last 5 minutes of the game. That is 3 straight La Liga losses. On flippin' real. On flippin' real. Rodney Harold, a player of the match performance. 8.3 rating, 1 goal. Well done. Well done. He is part of the youth movement I brought in a couple years ago. Potential. Professional player, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, improving where I want him to. Why, yes, Kenny, we are going to praise you. What are we going to do schedule-wise? I think what we're going to do is come back for Marseille and Atletico. Or do I skip a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? That's a lot of games to skip. Are you kidding me? I just totally noticed the schedule here. I'm counting the games, not the days between games. You know, we're going to do double live comm of our last 2 Champions League games because we've got freaking Marseille on the 23rd and Manchester City on the 8th. And in between, we got Atletico on the 27th, Real Betis on the 1st, and Celta Vigo on the 4th. Yep, that's what we're going to do. And we'll see whether or not we get out of the Champions League. I think, doing the math in my head at the moment, Man City lost again. Wow. As long as we want to draw our next game, we should be doing okay. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. A couple of horrible losses today. 4 losses in a row. That is not good. The team's been playing like crap, though. I got to figure that out. Yelling at him is certainly not working. If I yell at him more until morale improves. It's a tried and true method that never ever works, right? Yikes. Well, the inner game was... I thought we'd lose. I didn't think we'd lose 4-1. The Getafe game, that was just annoying as hell. But, you know, if you have liked what you've seen and heard, I can't imagine you did. That was 2 really bad losses. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM20. I thank you for watching.